Welcome to Finding Monster Rights, the show about finding monsters, right?
Right. I'm Meowly.
I'm Ad Meow. And we're cat in action.
Mm-hmm. And what have you been up to, Adam?
No, nothing.
Oh, interesting.
Just deal with a 3-month-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
A little kitten.
Aww. And I've been heading out far with Cats-oline. Can any pets be cat people?
Yeah, we're taking a look at into the 90s and 50s. Cult classics.
I need you to go back 10 years on both of those.
Okay, wow. We are talking about various cat people films throughout the 1900s.
Yes, 1942 and 1982.
Yeah, I saw the 80s version. You've seen both, and
Yeah.
apparently I've seen a review for the the 40s.
Yeah, welcome to the basement. But no, I saw both of these films a couple months ago. So both of them involve a type of monster, and this particular specimen of monster is named Irina in both versions.
Insert go-to sports cat mascot scream.
Oh, yeah. Like, I don't know if they did this for the 40s version, because I don't remember. But the 80s version is very much like this exact sound effect. Do you want to give it? Yeah.
You get it. Yeah, it's the cat sound, like how there's the red-tailed hawk's sound for all those raptors.
It's a generic leopard sound, because in the 80s version, they're always calling it a leopard.
Yes. This big black leopard cat.
Yes, because a panther, not everybody knows this, so not everybody knows anything. So there's people that don't know the sky is blue, I bet. So a panther is a melanistic form of a cat. It's a mutation. So like this occurs naturally in jaguars and leopards, where sometimes their fur is so dark that it's the same dark color as the spots.
Yeah, so it's a black spotted black cat.
Yes, at certain lights, it's a slightly different color, so when they shift in the light, sometimes you can see the spots. That doesn't occur in the 1982 version, though, because the werecats in this movie are played by puma actors that have been painted black.
Ah, okay. Were they painted with their own consent?
I don't believe an animal can consent.
I see.
Speaking of animals and consent, cat people. So cat people starts off like Terminator, with like a bunch of human skulls in a pile. The instrumental from Cat People by David Bowie, the song that David Bowie wrote for this movie, starts playing, but it's just the instrumentals and David Bowie doing like ooh for the lyrics.
The intro is pretty great because of the coloring for it. It looks like it could take place on Mars.
Yeah, it's in like undisclosed primitive human settlement, as Wikipedia puts it, and it really is like generic the past times. It's very mythical.
Yeah.
These people wearing like body paint of cat spots take a woman and tie her to a tree, and then a black panther approaches, puts its paws on her, and then another girl with feline features approaches a similar big cat in a cave without incurring its attack.
There's a reverence for this big old cat.
Yeah, and then it does this cool thing where it like crossfades to her descendant.
Today.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's a lady. named Irina.
Yeah. And she is traveling to New Orleans to reconnect with her brother Paul after they were separated. They were raised in foster care after they were orphaned, and they were the children of circus folk.
Yeah, and they're trying to reconnect here, and unfortunately Paul has a terrible secret.
Yep. His secret involves that he is a werecat.
Very similar to our talk last week.
Oh, yeah. What did we do last week?
I like saying last week, because for us it's probably been like a month. A long month, too.
Yeah, it was...
wow, since we did Thriller.
Man, the evil of the Thriller was a minute ago. So, it cuts to there's a scene where a sex worker is brutalized by a panther that suddenly shows up in the motel room.
Mm-hmm. In a kind of what you described as a pushback against the Hays Code era of the first film.
Yeah. Well, that's very much in keeping with everything. That's...
It was crazy because I'm watching this, and my current sensibilities are tuned to about 40 years from now in cinema. So I'm just like, oh shit, I forgot how many of these elements used to be present in films. Post Hays Code, hot off the 80s. You could just do this in an R-rated picture, and no one... It seems a lot rarer nowadays, is what I'm saying.
Not the brutalizing women part, the including a sex worker part.
Yeah, including a sex worker and the I would call it the overt sexual tones throughout the pick.
Well, it is an erotic thriller.
It's an erotic thriller, yeah. It's a brush that I rarely see picked up these days, but maybe that might be on me.
Well, it is very funny to go from Transformers 1 was kind of disrespectful to the lore to it's cat people.
But yeah, we see Paul, her sibling, is in fact this can turn to a panther and brutalize folk.
Yeah, some people from the New Orleans Zoo capture the panther after it got they discover the sex worker's body and everything.
How's this a zoo exhibit they take the panther to?
Just truly a bump. I can't believe zoos were like that 40 years ago, and I still don't actually believe it. I think they were just doing bits for the movie. I don't think that's how zoos... It can't be how zoos were, right? That's too evil.
Zoos were 4 concrete surfaces.
It's like...
And like a jail cell.
It's like a 10 by 10 foot concrete block. The inside areas are like a 3 by 3 foot concrete block with iron bars. All the animals are just right next to each other. And everything's like a red brick. It looks like if they tried to make a zoo out of the elementary school that I went to.
Yeah, or a prison.
Yeah, really, because so what are you going to do with the leopard now that you've captured him? Well, we'll declaw him. We'll file down his fangs. There's a dentist who does it. In fact, he's also my dentist. And we'll just cut off his ears and his eyes and make him like Torsey the Torso Horse and just kind of have this shambling corpse of a living thing walking around our zoo. I'm a regular zookeeper.
And Paul's like, nope, I'll take your arms.
Yep. Paul takes a guy's arm. They found the same thing in the that the prostitute found when right before she was brutalized and killed, which was just a pile of goop.
Yeah, there's like an ooze that follows, I would call it like a hairball substance.
It is really nasty looking.
Mm-hmm. And I think we see that this is it shows the kind of connection between the walking around human and the pantherous panther.
Yeah. So Paul shows up and talks to Irina after she sees this random zookeeper be torn apart.
She starts working at the zoo, and that's her first day. It's pretty intense.
That happened on my first day at the zoo too, actually.
Oh, that explains everything, actually. That explains too much.
So Paul shows up and makes a sexual advance towards Irina. I'm reading the Wikipedia article out of, like, straight up just because it's like, yeah, this is nasty. She rejects him and flags down a police car, and a police dog catches a strong scent from the house, and a detective is called in. And in Paul's basement, the police find shackles, bones, and remnants of dozens of corpses, mainly, as they say, sex workers and female runaways, because, of course, if a girl goes missing, no one fucking cares.
Yeah, I think it also helps paint him as a selective serial killer. It's tied to these, you said these sex working women.
Yeah.
And this called a beast of lust. Definitely. Which is how the werecats kind of represented.
Yeah. So after Irina takes refuge in a frustrated romance with Oliver, fearing the consequences of physical intimacy. In the 40s movie, they go on one date. Date number 2, he gets her a cat. The cat doesn't like her, so he gets her a canary. And, like...
I wonder what happens to that canary.
Yeah, exactly.
In the 40s.
I'm pretty sure they didn't kill any animals in this movie, but we'll get to that. So, Paul visits Irina again and explains their shared werecat heritage, thus revealing himself as the escaped panther. Mating with a human transforms a werecat into a black panther, and only by killing a human can it regain human form. He tells her their parents were siblings because werecats are like Targaryens ancestrally.
Gross.
Because werecats, like House Windsor, are ancestrally incestuous, and only mating ancestrous, and only mating between werecats prevents the transformation. So the only way you can fuck is if you fuck another werecat, and the only other werecat you know about is your sibling.
You're related to, yeah.
Which, I mean, there has to be more, right?
I would think this primitive society, certainly it's not a single chain of siblings since time immemorial.
Yeah, it would have to advance at some point.
I think genetically they would be there would be nothing left of them.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Paul transforms because, as it's also explained in the 40s version, it's not the act of mating that does it. It's just like when you're sufficiently sexually aroused.
Yeah, right. When you're horny enough, you become a cat.
Yeah. Which at the wedding reception in the 40s version, a suspiciously cat-like woman comes up to Irina and calls her sestra, which is Slovenian for sister. Because in the 40s version, it's the primitive human society is a town in Slovenia. And she keeps telling this story about how, like, the good King John came to the village and killed all of the demons in the name of Jesus, the Christian God. But then in the 80s version, she's just, like, getting a drink with Alice after work. And there's also a lady who comes up to her, and she just says, like mi hermana. I forget if she says hermana or hermana, but it's like, what does that mean? And it's like, everybody knows enough everybody in America speaks enough Spanish to know what that means.
Yeah, I understood what that meant, but like before 7th grade.
Yeah, like, hola, what strange foreign tongue.
She asked me for a map. She asked me several times. What was she looking for?
Yeah, exactly. Like, people, like, a lot of like, oh, Europe is so much better than America, brouhaha, is made up about how Americans normally only speak English. And I think most Americans do only speak one language fluently, but, like, you could go to any part of the country and say, like, a Spanish word or two and be understood.
Yeah, precisely.
Like, everybody knows, like, donde está la biblioteca and all that.
Yeah, where's the biblioteca?
Yeah, see, so you get it.
I get it, yeah.
So, Paul transforms because he got horny. Whoops. and attacks Oliver, is shot by Alice, and then Oliver conducts a necropsy on Paul at the zoo. Now, the cougar playing Paul.
Yeah.
They did not, unlike the 40s version, which I think almost certainly killed the bird for the movie, which sucks. It sucks when they do it in Friday the 13th, and it sucks then. But fortunately, I think the puma is just sedated. You see its paw twitching a little bit.
Yeah. I was. I saw that. I'm like, oh wow, that's a sleepy cat.
That's a sleepy kitty. They did have to sedate it though, because its eyes are open. But
yeah.
And it's just like a lot of like clever camera angles between the clearly different prop of the body being cut open and the cat on the table.
Another thing that I like missed in modern cinema, it's just like in no world nowadays would anyone bother to work that much with a real animal. Like not even, it wouldn't cross anyone's mind. There's a reason that when 2022 came around, no one's like, oh man, we gotta get that cat people out. Everyone was just like, cats, I think we've done enough. The ones we have now are CGI and bad.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised that no humans were harmed in the making of this film. And besides the sedation and being painted black, I don't think or being dyed black at least, which non-toxic dyes exist. They use them in zoos all the time on different animals to, to like as little like markings to tell different individuals apart better.
Now they get the dye through nefarious means of squid milking, but we'll talk. That's a different story.
Yes, the exploitative squid milking. I wonder if that would work as like an organic animal fur dye or something.
I think I've seen too many episodes of SpongeBob in my life, and I'm just I think it's like the milking of the jellyfish to get jelly out, and that's how I think all sea creatures work a little bit.
Well, squid ink is just mucus.
Oh, well, that's great. You just, they just pour some pepper into the tank.
Aw. I want...
Get him to sneeze a little bit.
I want the laws of nature to be written by you.
Yeah. Set a smoky fire nearby and get him to sneeze a bit.
So, Oliver makes the first incision on the body of the panther, the leopard, which is played by a cougar.
Yep.
A bunch of green gas comes out, and Oliver gets like thrown back by the sudden like, whoa, a bunch of strange gas, and he's coughing and stuff. A human arm comes out of the corpse, and then before Oliver can document this, Paul's corpse melts into a pool of slime.
Just a bunch of goos.
Yep. As Irina's feline instincts gradually emerge, she stalks and nearly attacks Alice twice. She later sleeps with Oliver and transforms into a panther, but she flees, sparing his life, and is later trapped on a bridge by police. What do you think of the transformation scene?
The transformation scene was great. A lot of I dug the effects. The I felt really bad about the panther on the bridge scene. Because it felt like a real news event. It felt like a scared cat didn't know where to go on this bridge.
No.
But she did have a place to go, and that was into the river.
Yeah. So she escapes, and she goes to a secluded lake house where they had a little datey date for a while when she was on the run from Paul, and she kills the guy taking care of the house. There's two housekeepers in this movie. This guy, and then Famali.
Mm-hmm.
She was orphaned, and they didn't have a name to put on the birth certificate, so it just said child female in place of name. And the woman who raised her didn't really have a good grasp of English, so she just pronounced it Famali and thought it was a name. Which is this weird... that's not from the 40s version.
No, I think that's just a fun idea that this screenplay writer had.
Yeah.
He put in there.
Truly, that is entirely what happened. Famali, played by civil rights activist Ruby Dee, who passed away in 2014, and whose birthday is on October 27th.
Hey.
Yeah, maybe I'll get it. Maybe I'll get
coming up.
Yeah. Maybe I'll have this episode ready in time. Maybe this will be this will be either an early, on time, or belated birthday present to Ruby Dee.
Oh, perfect.
So
I do want to say like I said, erotic thriller, a lot of risque outfits in this film. The one that I want to bring attention to is the one that I found the best was Irina's working in the water outfit.
Oh, yeah. She has like waders and shorts on, and there's like a bit of skin between well, they're not waders. I think they're just like long, like rubber boots. So there's a bit of skin in between those.
Time to get to work in the river, and she puts on these like, enormous thigh highs that like go up as high as any boots could.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that I was like, I'm like, this, oddly enough, this is the one that does it for me.
Well, that's a very sexual scene. Like, there's a lot of male gaze in that particular scene, I should say.
The part that I want to point out about it is just that the, like, to me it's just really funny as, like, a part of her career that she's doing at the zoo. It's like, everything in this movie is, like, shot with a, like a little sexier, like, what do you call it, bullet.
Do you remember what kind of top she's wearing in the scene with the waiters?
I do not.
Mm.
I just think that she'd be in a normal film she'd be dressed like a fisherman in that one with the giant overalls.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would be a lot more convenient, I think, for what she's doing.
Mm.
Oh, there's a scene. The scene with the pool is also in the 40s version, and it was so good in the 40s version that they just kind of kept it for the 80s version.
Almost for no reason.
Almost for no reason, just to freak poor Alice out, I guess. But
poor Alice.
Yeah. But Alice gets stalked by Irina in cat form a couple of different times, and there's a scene where she's like jumping in a pool, and there's like the lights from the pool are the only source of light in the room, so it's like all this water on the walls, kind of like the thing, and there's just a panther growling in the darkness. And she just jumps into the center of the pool because it's like the cat can't swim.
Yeah, it's really neat. It's it feels like someone in the 40s had like the kind of nighttime pool going thing that I did.
Oh, you did a pool thing?
Oh, I just like, what I'm saying is growing up, going to a pool at night, and you see this happen, and it's like, ooh, that's pretty neat. And someone said that put in a film, and 40 years later, they did it again.
Yeah.
I've also hidden from a cat in a pool, but that's a different story.
We'll have to go into that. So, Irina tells Oliver she did not kill Oliver because she loves him and begs him to kill her. When he refuses, she begs him to have sex with her again so she can transform and be with her own kind. Oliver reluctantly agrees. He ties Irina naked to the bedpost by her arms and legs in preparation for when she transforms into a panther. They then have sex one last time, and Irina begins to transform. Sometime later, Oliver is again in a one-side relationship with Alice. He stops at the cage holding the recaptured panther. Irina, now permanently trapped in her panther form, reaching through the bars, Oliver hand feeds and strokes the now docile Irina's neck before she glances at him and roars. And then it freezes on her face. And like half the David Bowie song plays, and then it unfreezes. The frame unfreezes.
I was deeply confused by this. Probably everyone that has seen this film thinks that there's something wrong with the production of the ending. Like someone thought something was wrong on TBS, or wrong in the movie theater. Yeah. But it just seems incorrect.
Well, the frame...
But that's how it's edited.
The freeze frame unfreezes, she roars, it refreezes, and then it hits with gasoline. And it's just such a strange choice. I really think there was a better way to mix that. I don't know.
Yeah, agreed. And that's that's the meat of cat people.
That's cat people. Doesn't have the psychological abuse of the 40s version, the psychiatric mispractice. There's a zookeeper who's just like... Irina in the 40s version is obsessed with this one panther who's at the zoo, and this other zookeeper's like, don't be obsessed with him. Black cats are the devil.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, that's very wise, Mr. Zookeeper. Anyway. There's a very, like... The 40s version is a very Christian movie. Like, I feel like, I think Oliver literally wards Irina away with the power of prayer.
Wow. Well, it's cool that they they took those roots and instead made it a little more like of a expanding out the pantheon and making it a little more like anyone can tap into it.
The Pantheron.
Thank you. Yes, the Pantheron.
So anyway, our question is, does it have to be just cats?
I really like the idea of cat people, but with different animals from the petting zoo.
Well, here's the thing, like, a leopard.
Mm-hmm.
If someone's like, I turn into a leopard when I get aroused, you're a little bit like, oh, okay, because that's like an animal with sexy aesthetics, right?
Yeah. Like if I told you that, hey, I got my car painted to look like a leopard, you'd say, oh, damn, that's probably sexy.
You would think that's like a sexy thing or like a sleazy thing.
Yeah. This leopard designed PlayStation 6, and you're like, ooh, man, that sounds slick.
Do you want to fuck a PlayStation 6?
No, I just.
Do you want to fuck a car?
It's funny. I make fun of people doing this all the time, and here I am. When people use the phrase "sexy" to describe like electronics and stuff like that, it's like, oh, look at my sexy new iPhone, and I'm just like, you know what that word means, right?
That does happen a lot, yeah. That happened at D&D once, remember? Where it was this great bit where it's like, oh man, I don't know if I need those dice, but they're really pretty. And then I was like, yeah, those are some sexy dice. And I was like, I should stop. Like, I caught myself. It was weird. And Sarah was like, stop objectifying the dice. And I was like, they're objects.
Yeah, right. It's exactly like that. So, but to your point, yeah. So the panther, what you're saying, has this allure.
Yeah, there's, like, Jackson taught us about this on the were-dolphin episode. Where it's like, some animals are a little bit sexier than others. Like, leopard, if someone turns into,
that's totally fair.
If someone turns into, like, an anaconda, like, if someone can turn into an anaconda, I'm there. If someone can turn into, like, a wolf, much of the internet will be there.
Yeah. The other issue with the picking up the animals here is that I feel like there's a tier list. Turning into an anaconda, thumbs up. Mm-hmm. Turning into like a gardener snake. It's like it's not. You don't have as much appeal, do you?
It's not as dangerous an animal. I think that's it. I think it's the danger, but also like Jackson admitted, like a were-dolphin. That's like, oh, okay, that's something. Like, that's kind of mermaidy.
Yeah.
It's giving mermaid, even though it's not really mermaid, and that is giving siren, even though it's not really a siren. So maybe that's the line?
Yeah, it's almost like, what other thing does this harken back to?
Yeah.
Like, I think, to me, it's like a parallel, like a connection. Like, you know, if what you're going for matches if this animal embodies that, then you're good. If, like, what you're going for is something big and cuddly, a bear might match this.
Yeah, bear is powerful.
Bear is powerful, but it's also, like, there's a bit of a sloth to a bear.
That sloth can be a little bit sexy, I guess.
Yeah, if your goal is to, like, you know, just cuddle up for a while and, like, watch a bunch of movies.
Yeah, I don't know if I would call that sexy, but that is kind of like an okay relationship dynamic.
Like if a cobra, like that's a snake that can get some.
Yeah.
But if you're like a coral snake, it's like, come on now.
No, a coral snake's venomous, and it's got like all the red and the black going on.
Oh, I thought coral snake was the non-venomous one.
No, that's a milk snake. That's a king snake or a milk snake also. Coral snakes are the ones that are venomous. And for some reason, we all know that thing about yellow touch black, bad for Jack or whatever, which never worked for me because I could never remember like which one the rhyme was about. And coral snakes don't even occur in this part of the country, so why did we have to learn this?
Yeah, I have no idea why I picked that one up. I don't think I've ever seen a snake of any kind, let alone by those colors in the wild.
Yeah, snakes aren't that common in Pennsylvania. We don't even have any native lizards.
Yeah, I saw a couple garter snakes, I think, when I was a boy, a wee lad.
We got garter snakes, we got Decay's brown snakes. Those are the ones that are most common in human areas. We also have, like, timber rattlesnakes, which you can tell from other snakes by the fact that they rattle.
Yeah, it's kind of in the name. But okay, enough about the snakes. We're talking about other... what were you getting at with the look?
I don't remember. Let's just run down all of the list of pets that can be cat people. Starting with cat, because the cat people are leopards, very specifically. They are black leopards. They're not domestic cats. Can you, like,
No.
someone who's a werecat that turns into, like, a domestic cat? Is that it?
This movie just got a lot more adorable.
Yeah, well, like, if turning back involves you have to kill a person, that's a lot harder to do as a domestic cat versus a panther.
Yeah, I'm thinking of, like, for some reason, that this cat has to, run to the other side of the house and cut a rope with an anvil on it to take you out. This cat has to drop the ironing board on the wall to get you to have a terrible accident.
Yeah, you have to set it up ahead of time. Just
I could see turning aware house cats having to just do a lot of homework as the human, so that the killing is a simple trigger. But will that do it, or does you have to kill with your own hands?
I don't know. I think you might just be out of luck unless you can just, like, kitty scritch up, like, a jugular. Kitty scritch up the jugular, by the way, is the name of my EP.
Yeah, I wonder if, like, what if you run out in front of a car and the car swerves and gets into accidents?
Oh.
and they die on the way to the hospital. Does that count? Are you cool?
Hey, if you make this a black cat, this is a really cool movie.
That's what I think, is that suddenly this gets a lot more adorable of the premise. I think the cat's already kind of declawed, and this may very well be the case for a lot of street cats that we just don't know about, you know?
That is an interesting point. Like, black cats being then you vilify black cats, and then people are afraid of black cats again, and that's historically.
I'm against that in this month of October.
Yes, yeah. You're a black cat owner.
Yes, I am.
You are a white black cat owner.
of 1 year now.
Yeah, Toothless had her anniversary recently. Her adoptiversary. Which is what I guess you're treating as, like, a birthday.
I don't know her birthday, but I know the day she was adopted. So, yeah, no, she's here, and let me tell you, I do not know if she could kill a person,
she would have by now.
Yeah, she's gotten close, let me tell you. I was changing my son one morning, and I guess he was being loud and still new, and she tore up my ankle something fierce.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So she has it in her. It's just we have unfortunately a bond going of, like, as the titular Toothless does with Hiccup.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, you caught her in the net the one time, and you fixed her tail.
Yeah, I caught her in the net, I fixed her tail, flew her into battle. So we have a long history there.
Yeah. Well, I guess you're Gerard Butler in this metaphor. Because, of course, your son is Hiccup, I've decided. Because he's small enough to ride her. Maybe not for much longer, but...
He also gets a lot of hiccups, let me tell you.
Aww.
So, the other man's best friend, were-dogs.
Were-dog. Were-dog, not as sexy as werewolf.
No, definitely not.
Same thing with, like, it depends on breed, too, I think. Because, like, someone wear cats into a black cat, that can still be sexy. Someone wear cats into, like, a calico, it's like, okay. Someone wear dogs into, like, a dachshund, it's like, okay. Someone wear dogs into, like, I don't know if there is a dog that...
I think the struggle here is I'm going to call it the Nickelodeonification of wear transformation.
Mm-hmm.
Dogs being such a diverse species.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you're not going to get the George Lopez effect of having a cute little purebred dog if you were to transform into one. I think it's going to be some messy mutt that most people are.
Oh, okay. So like a mutt of a dog.
Yeah, like think a generic dog. Don't if it's a golden retriever or something, you're straying too far. Just like dog, go. And it's like, oh, this 4 legs brown has like a tail. It's like, yeah, that's the dog. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a very luxurious life as a were-dog.
No, I think like a dog in general. I think they're in like the top 10 for animals that kill people every year.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That they accomplished that for sure.
Yeah, like they definitely do sometimes kill people that just from being so numerous and in such proximity to people. Everybody has a dog, you know.
Yeah, they don't even need the piano tied to a string.
Yeah,
They just do it.
but it's not like, but like dogs don't inspire fear in people. Like a pit bull wouldn't. Like a pit bull could. I will point out that pit bulls in general, like the pit bulls I know in my life, are generally very friendly, happy dogs.
Correct. Yeah, that's definitely a nature nurture thing.
I wouldn't want one of them to bite me, but like I don't think they would.
No, but they have the tools for it.
You know, I was dog sitting for a shelter dog recently that my friend was boarding, named Maya, and she was like, I think she was like a lab mix, but she was kind of like longer hair, like a dark black color, that blue tongue that I think chow chows have, and like I was walking her down the street, and she was like a very friendly dog with like a little like she has like her leash looked like a little like outdoorsy like leash, like the kind of dog that likes to go on a hiking trail.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and like people were like moving to the other side of the street. Like they saw me walking this like pretty big dog that was colored black, and they were just so afraid of it.
Yeah, I think I could see a dog inspiring fear.
Yeah, so maybe like a
as someone that is notoriously kind of afraid of dogs.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point because I am truly not. Like it took me a minute to clock that people were crossing the street because they were afraid of Maya. But which is crazy because she was so nice. She was sleeping on the couch like a second ago, dog. Chill.
Yeah, it's not the good, well behaved dogs. It's the ones that their owners don't take proper care of them.
Yeah,
and don't have as cute of a leash to keep them on.
No,
and it's hard to tell at a glance which dog you're dealing with. So I think that a weird dog would be able to follow the steps of cat people.
Okay, yeah. But like a black dog, like a bigger dog would be scarier. Like a Tibetan Mastiff or something, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Something that's, just a short stone's throw away from a wolf.
Yeah, okay. So were-dog can work. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's other? Parrot.
A parrot was also like my... this is my go-to when I pitch this.
I
love the idea of the sex worker, and out from under the bed comes this like probably want to cracker bird, just like then it's the birds like flying in our face, like causing a grisly scene.
I mean, no, for just like generally not. I would say.
You don't think that the a parrot can take on a person?
No, not for very long. I think
you don't think there's an inherent sexuality to the parrots?
I'm just so sure that the answer is no.
The benefit that the parrot has is it can speak the language of ours.
It can speak the language of ours.
I think a parrot could be a telephone sex worker. Not a good one, but I think it has all the skills.
Not all of the skills.
Yeah, not all the skills. You're right.
Like, what are you wearing right now? Nothing. I'm a parrot. You can also definitely... Parrots do have an accent, let's say. Look, when you say... Look, I'm gonna be honest, I'm thrown. I don't think...
Answer the question straight. Would a parrot be a good phone sex operator?
No.
Okay.
No, I think you're wrong.
Let's move on.
Alright, cool. Okay, parrot... Where parrot does not work. Parrots are not sexy enough to be were cats. Okay, so freshwater fish. So, like, let's examine goldfish, tropical fish, saltwater fish.
I don't think there's enough distinction between them. That, again, sex worker under the bed, like a fish comes flopping out. It's not, you're never killing a person.
But wait, are there not some, okay, mermaid, hot, shape of water guy, hot, right? Okay, maybe like a partial transformation would be better, but also if someone can like turn into a were shark.
Yeah, if you're going full, like, kind of hybrid with that, but to your point, almost extending out of the pet territory, there are very dangerous fish in the world.
Yeah, and there are people that keep, like, exotic fish tanks. Like, there are people that keep certain species of sharks in tanks. I've seen that Animal Planet show.
Yeah, so, okay, I think that it would be closer to a were shark than a were goldfish.
Yeah, like a piranha, maybe. Piranhas, which are not that violent in real life, as they are in cartoons and stuff.
I could totally see a picture like this set by the water. I mean, it's New Orleans.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, it's not necessarily a dry area.
I think if this movie were called Shark People, it would be just like that Robert W. Morgan movie that we saw, Mako Jaws of Death.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident that was the Shark People movie. But but Mako was trapped in shark form.
That would, if that movie were secretly about were sharks, I think it might make a lot more sense.
I think you found the hidden Rosetta Stone.
Damn.
All right, other pets, like the bearded dragon, like lizard.
That could work. I think
I don't think I've ever seen a bearded dragon that with like enough chutzpah to go for the kill.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Of like animals. Well, like, what are other criteria that could work? At this point, I feel like I have to ask because we're getting into the point of like, I don't think like a hamster could kill you, but it's very funny to picture in a movie. There's got to be a scene where like a hamster or like a rat kills you.
I didn't watch the G-Force film, but I think it's that for. There may be a death inspired by guinea pigs.
But okay, so like a bearded dragon. I don't know. It's not very. It's a pretty unsexy lizard, I would say. Any like small lizard is.
All those animals go into what I call the face hugger territory, where I can only see this working if they go down your throat and burst out of your chest at the right spots.
Terrifying.
And I only think the creature that has that kind of gall would be the rat.
Yeah, a were-rat.
Very possible.
Were-rats are not uncommon in like fantasy and stuff, I would say. In like modern fantasy, they've got, and like there's like some people are into like the grimy kind of aesthetic a bit.
Yeah, if you're dirty, you might like were-rats.
If you're like, yeah, there's an appeal to like a fucked up little guy.
For sure.
I think, yeah, but I think maybe some of the criteria has to change. Even like we were talking about with like the black cat, like turning into a black cat and like creating accidents so it can turn back into a person. That is cool, but also it's like, it doesn't really fit the cat people vibe because it's not about like the act of being criminally liable in a court of animal law for murder. It's about like the visceral like interplay of sex and violence. You know, it's about like getting your teeth deep into somebody.
Yeah, it's about wallowing in a corpse.
It is some people are into that.
It's about flipping the switch and the violence of animals and how it pairs with the what do you call it? The wild human nature.
Turtle.
Okay. Violent deaths. Choking to death is pretty violent, right? It's a bad way to go.
I hate all of the deaths you're describing that involve an animal climbing into a person's mouth. Like, it is ridiculous, but also I hate it.
Okay. Gruesome death, being bonked on the head. I can see a turtle from a height.
You get really horny and then you climb onto a ladder and then like swan dive onto the person's head, turn into turtle, kill them, transform back.
I only get off by being a turtle mid-fall.
Turning into a turtle. Wait, what if Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was created by a secret coalition of were-turtles to turn people into scalies so that they would be able to get some, so that they would be able to transform back into people after they fuck?
They got the ooze.
They got the ooze, though.
Maybe that is the secret of ooze. I have not seen enough TMNT properties to confirm or deny that.
That's a pretty fucked up secret of ooze.
Yeah.
Is there an episode
where were-turtles? Oh shit!
Is there an episode of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that is called The Wizard of Ooze? Really quick, let me just look that up. I feel like I've got that. I feel like I called that shot.
That's a Goosebumps book.
Wow, they really didn't do. Wait, hold on. No, there's a fan fiction, but
okay.
But no official Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles property has been called The Wizard of Ooze.
We should talk about this this scholastic Goosebumps book, The Wizard of Ooze.
What happens in it?
There's a creature called the Ooze in the shape of a man wearing a torn green shirt, holding a wooden staff that emits electricity.
Here's something. Ferret.
Ferrets. Okay. I think you're on the right track.
I think ferret goes in the same bucket as rat.
Yeah, a little kind of nasty. You a little messed up.
Now gerbils, guinea pig, chinchilla, mouse.
Yeah.
Well, mouse, rat, ferret goes in a bucket. Hamster, gerbil, guinea pig, chinchilla goes in a bucket. Also, different bucket, rabbit.
Yeah, that was the one that came to mind that I think the last one that we might be missing here. So, were-rabbit. The speed is an important factor.
Okay. What do you mean by that? Because it's like bunnies be running, or like...
So I'm thinking of like the scenario depicted in the film where the panther's on the run from the cops, essentially.
Okay.
And struggling to get out of situations. I think bunnies are more elusive.
Oh, yes. Can a bunny run away from the cops is the question of the hour.
I think a bunny would run into by an alleyway and paint a picture of like a tunnel. And I think bunnies have an inherent ability to dress up like sexy women.
Okay.
What I'm saying is
Bugs Bunny a fursona? Yes, right? For sure.
I think if you remember the furry community and your animal is the bunny, the rabbit, and you don't take any inspiration from Bugs Bunny, I think you're doing it wrong. I'm sorry.
I'm sure people are.
I think you took a wrong turn at Albuquerque.
I feel like the big furry, the big rabbit fursona influences are going to be Bugs Bunny and probably the rabbit from that Disney movie, the Zootopia.
Zootopia, yeah.
Yeah, the cop. Oh wait, Zootopia is a movie that probably answers the question of if a rabbit can run away from a cop, although a rabbit is the cop in that movie.
I'm glad you connected the dots.
You didn't connect shit. I've connected them. Also, a very popular pet animal on all of these. Like, I'm running down like list of most common pets, and we've covered everything on here except not horse.
Oh, I guess that does count.
I don't know if horse is pet.
People own horses.
That's more like livestock. But, like, I guess livestock is like an animal that you get product from, and a horse provides a service, not a good.
Yeah.
That service is draining your bank account.
Yes. I have my sister-in-law has a horse. And, oh boy.
You ever ridden a horse?
Not my style. I don't think I had the opportunity to ever.
I like riding horses.
Horse people a la cat people, I could see that, like, clicking.
Yeah, I mean, people turning into a horse, like, where horse seems like a ridiculous animal, but turning into a horse feels pretty horrific. Like, things would stretch in crazy ways.
Oh, yeah. But if you're, like, if I'm talking about which, if this goes back to the, like, which animal do you want to transform into, horse is a good get.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the, not every horse, but I'm thinking of, like, the stallion in the open plains horse. Like, that seems like it gotta be a good lifestyle.
Yeah. Well, for sure.
But just being a panther, it's like, well, your odds are, your options are go to the zoo or go on the lam for, like, a very short period of time.
No, I'd be into that. But I think with a horse, I think there's another way out for horses specifically.
Okay.
I think maybe each one of these were animals, I think maybe leopard has to kill a person, because leopards are evolved for killing primates.
Oh, I see.
Maybe killing a non-human primate would count, actually.
Maybe, are you trying to say that that the rules are different for each animal?
Yeah, I think if you turn into... Okay, you get horny, you turn into a horse, you run out of the house, down the stairs, without breaking a leg somehow, run out into the street, into the woods, and, like, a farm girl finds you, and her dad's like, now, Shannon Deborah, that horse can't be tamed. I forbid you to ride that animal. But Dad, I'm the only one who understands him. You can't win the big race to save the farm. And then she wins the big race to save the farm, and she wins the boy's heart, and she shows up the rich girl from across the lake, and she shows her what's what, and she foils a plot to steal the horse and turn it into glue or something. And then, only then, do you turn back into man from horse. What do you think?
No, I think that's, all we know of the magic system is what we see in the pic. But I feel like that is, your goal is to accomplish something human through this beast, right? You're supposed to, like, ride the line again.
Yeah. So
I think winning a competition and, like, the love of another person and maintaining property are all, like, things that would allow the horse to become human again. It would accomplish the 100 deeds of Eddie McDowd.
Yeah, that's Were Dog rules. You have to accomplish 100 good deeds. Yeah. That is very, like, that is human, is doing good deeds. And a dog is a good boy. So a were-dog has to do 100 good deeds to turn back. Or maybe just one good deed. Eddie McDowd is a super were-dog.
Yeah, the parrot has to recite all of Hamlet.
Oh god, what do fish kind of do, but people definitely do?
Travel, maybe? Has to see new places.
You gotta get to the ocean, like Finding Nemo.
Yeah, a reverse Finding Nemo.
Yeah, which is hard if you're a freshwater fish, because there's a minute where you just, like, your body starts to just, like, absolutely swell up with salt, but then you turn back into a person and you don't have to breathe water and it's fine.
Yeah. Freshwater fish can alternatively go to Lake Superior.
No, it has to be the ocean.
All right.
But maybe the Great Lakes are close enough, actually. No, maybe you're right.
I think the rats have to eat a whole pizza.
100%. Yeah, that's extremely on brand. Yes.
You have to eat an entire pizza by yourself.
What would, like, okay, jumping out of the pet section for a second, What would, like, a were-rhino have to do? Also, were-rhino? Specific, but hot.
Okay, that's a tough one. I think you would have to, do drugs made from your horn? I guess.
When you transform back into a person, the horn is left over for you to make drugs with, so that the next time you turn into a rhino, you have to imbibe those.
Yeah, rhinos do drugs. But
Rhinos,
okay.
They have to snort a line of horn, of their own past incarnation's horn.
I think we learned it. The way to unbecome the way to revert to human form is to be a little human.
Yeah. I think that's the moral of this story.
So why don't we go to the final rating place?
Mm-hmm.
And put the were cats to rest.
Yeah.
As depicted in Cat People, how would you rank the were cats?
I think it's a 8 out of 10. Really good, but room to grow. I think we're past the 40th anniversary of the 80s version and the 80th anniversary of the 40s version. So we missed it in 2022. We missed the Cat People eclipse, and look what happened.
Well, it's tough. Some of the elements, like I said, I'm missing them in current cinema. Other ones, it's like I really don't see any kind of incest-led storyline continuing. I think that's 100% something ripe for an adaptation.
Yeah, it is a good way of making, like, the girl's brother the villain, though. That is very villainous on the face of it.
Yeah.
It's kind of a thing of, like, okay, so just don't fuck. Like, Zoomer Cat People can never work, because it's like, alright, so just don't fuck. That's fine. People don't fuck sometimes. It's cool.
I could see that, like, with this new, like, kind of, call it a celibate, like, spin on the type of tale. That would be a really, an anti-erotic thriller. Versus just saying, like, we don't need sex scenes in movies anymore. Like, something that is, doing that type of thing, but I feel like we're going to slip back into the Christianization of the 40s film.
Yeah. Maybe a little, yeah. Oh, it's not necessarily anti-erotic to make it that. It could just be like an edging thing.
7 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Similar, like, good but room to grow, sounds like.
Exactly. I think I would love to see the werecat explored in modern tales. I think the wolf is too much the go-to, and this is probably exactly what I said during our were-dolphin episode. But we have a bridge to our next episode, leaving this one. So I hope you've enjoyed the Halloween season with us.
Mm-hmm.
And you are registered to vote, and will join us in voting in November or sooner.
I might vote. Yeah.
Yeah.
Join us on our Discord.
We have a lot of fun over there.
Yeah, we're doing a watch party soon.
Yeah.
By the time this episode goes up, that will be common knowledge.
So, tune in for that, and thank you for joining us for... Hairball.